Tuning in to Chaos Culture Radio, dropping knowledge in the studio you already know.
Chaos Culture Radio, back
Yeah.
at it
Again. This is your man Ronnie Ron.
and this is Prince Hakeem.
And this how we get down each and every day, man. You know, I ain't gonna lie. One day I was in my car. We listened to one of the episodes we did. I'm listening to the episode. I'm like, damn, this is really good.
No,
Because
definitely.
I thought we was on the Breakfast Club.
No, definitely. I tend to go back and listen to the content. It's so much. I'll just let it rip on replay. And I was like, damn, I didn't even know we said this day. But you know,
Yeah, that's true, man. I be learning all the time. I always say, man, if people not on this KR Culture Radio, they don't know what they missing.
They don't know what they're missing. And people, we're asking for your help. It's free. Just share it. Tell your friend about it. Give it to them. Listen to them. We're trying to blow the content big enough so we can be able to leave our jobs and we can be able to give you the right type of content and give you more of this pimping to help young men, young women, old women, grandpas, grandfathers to live their life in a wonderful way. You feel me saying?
Facts. Now this one right here, this topic right here is actually kind of interesting because I think you the one that brought up that women have kids for different reasons.
Facts.
And I want you to break that down, or give us what are some of the reasons? Because I want to know what are some of the reasons that women have kids for.
So here's the thing. There's a clock in a woman in nature. And listen, we can even put, I'm not even scared to talk about this. We can even put some of the LBG people, the lesbians, the butches and stuff like that. And even them, there's a clock inside you that it's nature that you want to have another baby. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Want to have a baby. But speaking on our level, as far as being Black and growing and seeing the reasons why, what women do to have kids here and what the reason is. Sometimes it's for a man. Sometimes main reason is for a man. Sometimes women be so depressed to be by themselves, they'll have a baby thinking that it's going to help them cope with life. Sometimes these kids are just accessory, just to walk around with them, say, hey, I got a baby, but don't raise them at all. You feel me?
Do that. That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? And the last one is having kids for certain women, especially on a lower economic situation, is for a check, especially when they have multiple kids, multiple men. And they got, you know what I mean? It starts to become a system. If you have 5 baby daddies, you put all of them on child support, they all paying $300-400 a month. If you meet the right one, you're looking at $2 to $3 grand up well until you're 50 or 60. If you have them back to back, if you have 5 back to back, you max out with food stamps and stuff like that. You're talking about you're making maybe, you know what I mean, you get enough child support and food stamps, you can live in a nice government housing till 50 or 60. So there are reasons why a lot of women have kids. And you know what I mean? We're going to address them here, and we want to understand it. We want your understanding on why women do this. You feel what I'm trying to say? And don't get me wrong. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, let you finish.
Don't get me wrong. They was talking about this year that a lot of women are delaying having kids, not in the ghetto.
Yeah, I will ask you a question that a lot of women is all on a decline of women having children. They don't want to have children anymore.
No, yeah. No, we're talking the ones who don't want to have children anymore are the ones with degree, the ones who are educated, the ones who put aside family for work and stuff like that. That's another reason why they're not having that. But the ones in the ghetto, the ones in the lower economic system, they're still popping out. But the ones who left the ghetto and got a degree, no, they was like, nah. But they're regretted too, because as they get older and knowing that kids keep families together, like I'm not saying that you can't get married with a man and y'all have a relationship that flourishes, but y'all love is not the only thing that's gonna be there. There's an innate nature of y'all that y'all gonna want to raise y'all replacements, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, but this is why I laugh when I hear people say I'm the rich auntie and all this other stuff. It's just another coping mechanism to say that you can't keep a man.
But my thing that you think it's a bad thing the women don't want focus more on the ingredient and having children because
I think it is bad.
It's pricey.
No, I think it is bad. I think it's selfish.
You think it's selfish?
I think it's selfish that you don't want to have a family, and this is my opinion. Nobody doesn't have to like it. I think it's selfish that you don't want to have a family. I think it's selfish that you'll get with a man and knowing that a lot of these guys who can't get other women are stuck with certain women, and these women don't even see some of these guys fit enough to reproduce just because of your last baby daddy. So he has to raise a kid, and he doesn't get the perks of being a father.
Yeah, because sometimes these women get their tubes tied, and now they can't have any kids anymore.
Definitely. But here's the funny thing is, Ron, you did say something I don't want to overlook. Kids are expensive. Kids are very, very expensive. We're talking about a daughter might cost you $250,000, $250,000. Boys are a little bit less, maybe $500,000. No. We're talking about $1 million for a girl and $500,000 for a boy. You know what I'm trying to say? But
wow,
yeah,
that's the correct total.
Yeah,
for a boy and girl. Wow.
Yeah, you know what I mean. We're talking about we're talking about the economics of it, but let's be honest about this. Traditionally, what women used to have kids for is not what it is now. And kind of when we was growing up in the 80s, for overall human biology is gonna take flight. Women always get this thing called baby, and they go and want to be, but the reason doesn't become clear until the baby's here. And sometimes is if you want to have a family or be a part of a community, you have to have, and this is my opinion. A lot of people might not like it, but you have to have kids. But a lot of people don't understand the value of wanting to create a family or passing down your family name and the value. You feel me? I would love to give the teachings that my dad gave me. And just as well as your dad gave you a bunch of teaching. Wouldn't it be more prevalent for you to have a son to pass down what his dad taught your dad?
I agree. I always tell people the man is the prize because remember the man carries the last name. But the problem is we all can agree. When women having kids for a different reason, sometimes the man's not able to keep that last name.
No, he's not. Because sometimes the women give their last name. And don't get me wrong, there's a point that I didn't even talk about too. Social pressures and expectation. You have grandmothers, aunties, and stuff like that. And women that have a baby just to be a part of women think, oh, I'm gonna have this baby to be a part of a community, but you still don't have a man with. You're not a part of the community. Because you want to know why? When you have those daddy-daughter days and Sundays where you got to bring your daddy in, your son still don't have a daddy to come in because you chose to F Ray Ray down the block to give you a baby, but you're ashamed of Ray Ray because Ray Ray is a drunken fool. You know what I'm trying to say? So you go ahead and have a baby for the reason of just. I wanted to say this earlier on, but I'm scared.
Well, you scared of do it.
I don't want nobody to get mad at me, bro, because sometimes I be flying off the handle. Okay, forget about it, Ron. A lot of these people can't find somebody to love them, so they'll have a baby to give them.
Facts.
These people be so inherent looking for love. They have to make a human being to love them.
Facts.
Instead of loving yourself first. And this is why it's so telling to me. When we made that other episode we did where the young lady who killed herself, we didn't even touch on that. She had kids to what? Maybe try to keep a man, or she didn't really love herself thinking that the kids will love her. The kids did love her and it still wasn't enough.
Facts.
What we supposed to do, Ron? Are we melody makers or magicians?
You're speaking facts.
And even then, look at it from that perspective, we'll still get blamed even when she chose to have the baby for her reason, and we're removed out the equation. Tell me if I'm wrong.
No, it's true. I'm saying it's true. Because remember, we don't remember, we think, but women don't think. Women think out of their emotion. They don't think logically.
They never think logically, man.
And that's why they have kids for different reasons. That's why they go, because remember, they always prone to how they feel. And to now, to the point now, men are doing the same thing too. Man going to the point on how he feels. So man, like, okay, that's how I feel. So at this moment, this is how I'm feeling. I just want to catch a nut. Okay, cool. You catch a nut, then look at the end result.
It's just sad though. But here's the funny thing, Ron, and I want you to touch on this. How is it that when these people do this, a lot of these women have to come out in the dating market and we have to run into?
Because we made it we made it to a point to be, man has made it to a point to put that into our society. That's why we accepted it.
Facts.
If that was time to tell you, everything in this world man had accepted. If man was at a point in his lifetime, like, you know what, we're not accepting this no more, a lot of things would change, even in the dating market. But the reason why I say but is because now, man, we tend to agree on anything because we don't want to get into no disagreement or no formal argument.
No, definitely. But you did say something that was really telling.
Mm-hmm.
You said that we accepted it. That's why it's like that.
Yep. Everything in the world, we accepted it.
Yep.
Man has accepted it.
And that's the wild thing. Accepting that.
Yep. Everything in this world, man had accepted.
We accepted it. And look where it got. But you want to know something?
Mm-hmm.
My bad, I was having some technical difficulties, but we need to start being men again.
Preach.
We need to stop allowing women to make decisions with your seeds. Am I wrong, Ron?
Man, preach. Yes, sir.
We need to be able to, and you know, the way we're able to do this, I'm about to say something real controversial, Ron.
Go ahead.
I believe a lot of men need to practice abstinence, and I don't care how fine she is, you have to look at her mental history and say, I'm not going to have sex.
Mm-hmm.
I think men should only have sex with women who are going to add value to their life.
That's what I'm saying. I agree.
No more quickies.
But I was saying, if a man comes to a level that be like, you know what, I'm not anymore. I'm if you're not on my program or you're not doing what I'm saying, that's it. That's a wrap.
No, definitely. But look how many trouble and problems we're having by having sex with women who are no good.
Mm-hmm.
Look where it got us. Child support. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
And here's the thing that nobody talks about. Soon as you nut in somebody, she controls it now. You don't.
Mm-hmm.
You have no word. No matter how much money you spend on court system, she controls everything. Am I wrong?
I agree.
If he wanted to be a full-time daddy, she could say no. She wanted to go take your money, she could just take it.
Facts.
So
because man became soft, and so anything a woman do, man are afraid that a woman gonna use the court system against them.
No, 100%. But listen here, understanding that women have kids for different reasons, men should be able to pick up on this and say to ourselves, you want to know something? This girl is trying to either trap me or take my resources. And listen here, we have to look at a lot of white and Hispanic men in the way they have kids. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Being sexually irresponsible has negative effects. Being a sexual deviant has negative effects. And the point with this situation is your seed and your last name should mean the world to you. And who you give it to ultimately determine if your kids become beggars, thugs, gangsters, prostitutes, or millionaires.
Mm.
So these guys willy-nilly having kids with different people is not a fun fact. And let me give you a story about this and tell me if I'm lying. There's been a lot of famous people who had kids. A lot of their kids didn't live as famous as their parents did. Look at Muhammad Ali kids. Some of the kids at Muhammad Ali, with the exception of Layla, and don't quote me on this, a lot of them didn't inherit none of it. I don't even think Muhammad Ali had any money to even leave back behind. Look at Malcolm X, but Malcolm X is a little bit different. I want to use look at Shorty Lowe. He had over 10 kids. How you able to finance all these people? Young Jock, he has over 10 kids.
Well, I didn't even know Young Jock had over 10 kids. I didn't know that.
He had over 10 kids. One of them, he actually was married to the lady. You feel what I'm trying to say? But Winnie Lily, slanging cock.
Future.
Oh my God. Listen, do you expect that when he's not here anymore, matter of fact, all those kids Future have, with the exception of some of them, which don't quote me on this, they're not all living a rich lifestyle. They're just getting child support money, which doesn't pay for everything.
Yeah, it doesn't.
You get what I'm trying to say?
Depend on the child support, because some have an appointment for child support that they do pay for everything. So it depends on it.
So you know what I mean? People have to look at it from that point. Women would have kids for their own reason, and men are excluded from it. Because let me tell you something. If they actually sat down and asked what we want, a lot of these kids wouldn't even be born. Ooh, I said.
Yep.
A lot of these kids will not be born. You and I know a lot of these guys, if you're fine enough, they're going to sleep with you without a condom. And if he's desperate enough, he's going to sleep with you without a condom.
That's like, whose fault is that? It can always go back to the man.
Always go back to the man. But here's the thing. If she controls her body, you can easily prevent yourself from having a kid from a dusty, getting birth controls where you can not bring your kid up into poverty. Because here's the thing. A lot of these guys are already poverty driven. So they're going to be, so their kids are going to be poverty. Sometimes, here's the thing, with the exception of maybe a few, majority of kids who are born in broken homes and father's not around, those kids tend to grow up poor as well. And they stay poor just like their previous family. You have an exception, Kevin Durant and a lot of these other basketball players who made it to the NBA. You have, and mind you, that pool is small. You have maybe 50 out of hundreds of thousands of kids who are still in the ghetto, who are over 30, over 45, who are working at Dollar Tree, who's stocking that Dollar Tree, who's stocking at Dollar General, who's stocking at Family Dollar, who probably was an ex-basketball, ex-football star or something like that, but he didn't. But due to the sexual irresponsibility of producing kids, his life was already predestined for him to be in poverty.
Preach.
You feel me? Your kids, the way you have sex would determine if your kids stay in poverty. Whew, I said it, Ron.
Yeah, that's powerful.
Listen, the way you go about sex would determine if your kids stay in poverty. Ladies, don't be mad at me. A lot of your sons, if you're listening to me, are going to go to prison. That's facts.
Yep.
A lot of your sons are going to get whacked, are going to get ran down on and whacked off because of your sexual irresponsibility. Mind you, I know you say we don't hold men accountable. We don't even consider those men you're having with, because you didn't have it with a doctor or a lawyer. You're having with a Pookie or Ray Ray. They're not even on our level. We want to wipe them out the face of the earth as well, because, you know what I mean? We practice natural selection here. What is going to be good for the collective? If we're going to build a black power structure or a black powerhouse, or we want to try to recreate Black Wall Street, we need families. We need marriage. You feel what I'm trying to say? And being sexually irresponsible, being a sexual deviant doesn't get you where you at. Being an Instagram thought, being an Instagram model, having babies with rich, dumb dudes. You heard what I just said, Ron? Having baby with rich, dumb dudes. I'm going to bring this guy name up and we can end this. You know Tristan Thomas, right?
No.
He just had another baby.
Oh, do you talking about what's it called? Chloe.
Chloe husband. Yeah, he just had another baby with.
Now I remember the name.
Yeah, he just had another baby with his trainer. Same thing with what's his name? Mariah Carey's Nick Cannon. He's dropping seeds all over here. Do you think all them kids are gonna be able to enjoy Nick Cannon's wealth?
That's the life they chose.
Now you should be able to have two minimum. If you're trying to pass generational wealth, you need two minimum. Tell me if I'm wrong, Ron.
No, you're telling the truth.
Two minimum. 3 is a force. Two minimum. 2 to 3 kids. Mind you, if she comes in a relationship with 2, I still think that you need to give him 2 of his own. 2 minimum. You know what I mean? So that's really it with that, man.
Yeah, it is. And I would say, I think you gave a great explanation and broke it down, like the way women think when it comes to like having children. Yeah. Because like, you know, a lot of men don't know this type of information. And you're very informative. Like you literally went in on this episode.
Man, because I'm starting to get tired, man, because the thing about it is, Ron, me and you could go have a baby any day with any hoosie if we want to, but you giving your seed to the wrong woman would detriment, would put your kid in, no matter how much you'll fight for your kid might end up in poverty because you're not going to be with her.
Yeah, it's true.
This is why I'm at my age and I didn't have no baby with just any old willy-nilly, because I want to be done to make sure that we create dynasty.
Facts. Same here. That's why I never had kids out of wedlock.
Basically.
Mm.
Having
I know,
kids
but a lot of people are like, man, you need to have kids. You need to have kids. I was like, nope, ain't doing it.
No. Yeah, you need to have kids that are you gonna have kids in the right way and don't have them in the way where it's gonna be.
Facts. I would say, man, you really went in on this one, man. Man, that was powerful, man. And you already know. That being said, Career Culture Radio,
we out.
Peace.
Man, I just appreciate y'all just listening. Stay tuned for the next episode.